Today we are going to learn about what is Microsoft Entra ID, and it's our lecture 2. So I hope you all have created Azure free trial account, and if you have any problem or like if you are facing any issues, you can mail me on this ID cloud.learning.lab.15@gmail.com. So I will try to revert you on the same email ID. So let's start the session. So search for Microsoft Entra ID and click on that. So first we have to understand what is Microsoft Entra ID. So for that, let it get open. Once it is open, it's a cloud-based identity. Earlier it was named as Azure AD, but later it is renamed as Entra ID. So like it doesn't create confusion from on-premises and cloud-based identity. So here, what basically it is like a Active Directory on cloud. You can assume it like that, and actually it has a more capability of that. So we'll explain. So suppose when you open it, you will see here default directory, your name and enter ID, your tenant ID, and here basically you can see the users, how many users are there in your tenant, and kind of things, and there is a lot of stuff. So first let me explain what is Microsoft Entra ID and what is our objective. So I have created a SOP. So let's start on this. So in this session I'm going to cover like Entra ID, IAM, identity based access management plus RBAC and management group. Also I will try to explain, but management group and contributor role I will try to explain in next session because the video will get too long. So Entra ID was formerly known as I told you, it's known as Azure Azure Active Directory or Azure AD, and Entra ID is a cloud-based identity, and it was launched in 2008 as Azure AD, but later it rebranded as Entra ID in 2023. So what is IAM? IAM stands for Identity Access Management. So what it works actually, what is the work of IAM? It basically manages like it ensures right user get right access at the right time. It includes authentication, authorization, and MFA kind of stuff. Plus, what is role-based RBAC, which is a very important topic. RBAC is a role-based access control. So here, like you get a different roles. Like suppose you are admin of the your Azure portal, so you cannot manage everything alone. Suppose you are having 700 or you're working for a big MNC, so there you get a lot of requests. Like someone asked from developer, you get the request to create a VM, to create a test VM. We need this to add a user. So this kind of stuff you get over the ticket, so you cannot manage everything alone. So in this case you create users and give them a role a particular access. So why that is why the RBAC role is important. And what happens if you create your Azure, if you sign in for the Azure tenant, so Microsoft Entra ID automatically get created. A tenant of Entra ID is automatically created, and it is linked to your Azure subscription. Also, one more point I want to highlight, like Microsoft Entra ID domain summary. So as you can see here, currently we are it is showing our default domain, but we can add a domain, like we can add our custom domain in Entra ID if you want. Like of course you have to do it. So you will do it like this. You when you come here, when you open Microsoft Entra ID, you go to custom domains and then you click on add custom domain. And suppose here we type test.com. So when we click on add, so this will give us a txt record these are the records which you have to update on your domain, like on your domain provider site. Like it could be anyone, GoDaddy, Cloudflare, or anybody. And if you're not managing, so you have to share this record with your domain, a person who is managing your domain, and he will update these records, and then you can verify it from here. So your domain will get added. So currently it is for the test, so I'm deleting this domain as we don't need it. Okay. Oh, so got the message, domain name deleted, added and deleted. It's cool. Let's close this. And so yeah, this is how you add your custom domain. Then you can create users with your custom domain, so they will get the domain name as I mentioned in the examples also. Like currently it is on microsoft.com. Later on, once we added our domain, so it will be like we can create users on our company name, like company.com, or example company.com or microsoft.com. So this is what the use of Microsoft domain. And it's basically you can also sync users from Active Directory, your on-premises Active Directory, to this Entra ID. But like this is a AZ-104, so this part is not going to be, like this is not included in this. So but still I just want to show you. Like here is a Microsoft Entra Connect. What you download this application and you install it on your server, on premises server, and then you do some settings, like you configure it, you add your domain and provide password as write back, and there are several options. It's a big topic actually. So via this, what happens, you sync your on premises user, on users who is on premises AD, to this Microsoft Entra ID. So this is how you connect your on premises Active Directory to Entra ID. So let's continue. What's what next topic? So yeah, management group is a thing which I will like to explain you later. Otherwise, you will get confused. Anyways, I have included this in the session, in this PDF, so you will get the access once this is done. So yes, so and let's continue on the practical. So here I just want to explain few more things about Entra ID to you. That here also you get the option for the company branding. Like you have seen the, like you get the logo when you sign in, your company logo. So that kind of settings, it is done from here only. Like if I show you how I can show you. It's 65 branding. Company branding. So basically you get this kind of picture, like at the time of sign in, you have noticed like your company name and then you enter. So this is a branding which you have observed in companies. It looks like this something. So that is done from here only. Like you can you customize it, and you provide image, your background image, and then header, footer, how the way you want, how it should look, headers, footers, and sign in kind of stuff. So this is how it works. So let's continue with the coding. So currently we have to look for the users, and we will understand what is the rollback access, RBAC roles. And so let me open and let me explain how you can create a user in this. So you open Microsoft Entra ID and you go to users, manage and users. So here you create a Let's create a test user. Create a new user. Let's name it test, and display name also be test. Password is auto generated, so just copy the password because we will need it, and we will paste it on the notepad. I think it's the same password. Yeah, so we kept it here. Now let's click on next. So you get the details like properties, first name, last name, job title. So you can skip it for now, it's not required. Here two options you get: add role and add group. So add group, like if you want users to be part of some group, so you can select the group. Here as of now it's a fresh tenant, so we have not created any group. And if you want to assign a role, so what's the directory role? Here I want you to focus. Directory role and RBAC role are different. So directory role means you assign this role to users when you want them to manage something at tenant level, like you want them to create users or something. So that's when you assign the directory role. And RBAC role, role based access, is something you assign for the resources, like if user can create a resource group or not, user can create a VM or not. So that's where RBAC role is comes. So I think I have a PDF also here. So here in the resources I have mentioned that directory role in Microsoft, what it controls: user, group, app, password, and identity level. Example: if a user assign administrator in Microsoft Entra ID, the person can create users and reset password, but cannot create a virtual machine or resource group. And in the same way, if you go to RBAC role, RBAC role means what it controls. It controls Azure resources like VM, storage, resource group. Example: if you assign a contributor role or owner role, which we are going to look right now. So in Microsoft, the person can create a virtual machine but cannot create a or manage users. So this is the difference between directory role and RBAC role. In simple line, I try to uh, say this, like directory role manage identities, RBAC role manage Azure resources. So you can remember. I try to keep my notes short, so I know we all hate theories, even I do, but there are a few things which cannot be skipped, so I have included it. So as of now we are not selecting any role. Just click next and create. You can copy this because we will need it, and click create. So you can see success user is created successfully. You can verify it. Let it be. Let's go back and yeah, we can see the user. So test user is created. Now if we want to assign our RBAC role based access control, how would we do that? For that we need to go to subscription, search for subscription, and click on that, and select your subscription. Then in the subscription you go to IAM, identity access management. You click here, access control. Then you click here, add role and assignment. Click on this. And you click on privileged administrator roles. So what is the privilege administrator? These are the built-in roles which have already the access, and there are many. One moment. Let me come back to the PDF. Maybe I have mentioned the link also. Yeah. So the main privilege, uh, like you can consider it the main privileged Azure RBAC built-in roles. So when you click on this link, it will bring you somewhere on the portal of Azure built-in roles. So here you can find, like, you can see the privileged roles. These are the privileged contributor role. These are the different kind of roles which you can assign to your user according to the need. Like you want, if you assign a contributor role, what it can do, you're granting full access to manage all resources, but does not allow you to assign roles in Azure RBAC, manage assignments in the Azure blueprint, and or share image galleries. Owner role is going to have full access. If you assign owner role, so it will be having full access, grant full access to manage all resources, including ability to assign roles in RBAC. Likewise, there are reservation administrator, role based access control, user access administrator, and many more actually. Reader. So, what would reader do? Like if you assign someone a reader role, so he can view all the resources, but does not allow to make any change. Of course, you can understand if a role is a reader. So, by its name, it's reflecting that it will only give him a read only access. So this is how it works, and there are many more. You can go, I believe 60 or 70 plus roles are there, so you can go and check according to you. I have mentioned the link, but here which are there are few main roles which I would like to tell. These are the main built-in roles. So let's go back to our PDF once again and scroll down. So suppose currently I'm going to assign a owner role. So what will happen if I select a owner role? If I go next, so if I'm assigning our owner role, like I'm granting full access to all resources, user can create, delete, modify resource group resources, can assign roles like the role I'm assigning to this user, because I'm currently I'm logged in as a global admin, so I have the full access. Now I can assign him owner role, so he is going to have full access. So he can create resources, delete resources, modify resources, VM, storage account, and many more things. So you go here. Let me repeat how I came here. Otherwise, you would have forgotten the steps. You from there